Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is Ask Jesse Answer Time. We had some really fantastic questions this week, so let's jump right into it. Number one comes to us from Nicole D. Mbola. And Nicole, I apologize if I mispronounced your last name. How do you go after a dream that seems impossible to conquer? Impossible dreams are going to remain impossible because when we look at something in the impossible context, right, it seems, well, impossible. It's like, how can I possibly, it seems impossible for me to just flap my arms and make myself fly. And with that mindset, I probably never will. With dreams, what we need to do is we need to break it down into possible terms. While some of the dream may seem impossible, I'm willing to bet that there's probably parts of the dream, if you break it down into individual sections, like step 1, step 2, step 3, and so on, that probably seem possible. And if you could build on some of those possible parts, I'm willing to bet that some of those impossible parts may start to seem a little bit more possible. What I would encourage you to do, Nicole, and anybody watching this who has a dream that they want to pursue and it may seem impossible at the time, is get your magnifying glass out and examine as closely as possible each individual part of that dream. You want to be meticulous in your scrutiny of it. Leave no stone unturned, leave nothing untraced, or however those expressions go, and find where those possible parts exist. Because I promise you, they do. You look at so much of the technology we have today, so many of the things and great innovations that we've experienced. And at one point, maybe parts of them seemed impossible. Heck, there's even people that would say it wasn't going to happen. Man would never end up on the moon. People wouldn't fly in these metal containers across oceans. But the people who innovated them, the people who made it possible, found little possible pieces in each part. And they were able to build on that possibility to create what we all get to experience today. Such as somebody here and across the world may be reaching you in a message that they can record on this little device that has a video camera on it. Right? And then we all have this social network now that connects, 1.5 billion of us or more around the world. Possibility is created by finding the possible pieces of what may seem like an impossible dream. And that would be my advice to you, Nicole. Break it down, get to the points that are possible, and build off of that. And I promise you, if you do, the impossible will start to seem very possible very, very soon. Great question. Number 2 comes to us from Julia Hall, and Julia asks, after a traumatic experience 2 years ago, I've tried everything. Talking to God, meditation, but I can't go forward. Any advice, please? It'd be greatly received. Julia, this is a tough question to answer because no two traumatic experiences, or no two experiences for that matter, are the same. And I apologize. I felt like I had a sneeze coming on. And because of that, it's tough to give guidance for a very generalized question like that. What I will say to you, and I will say to everybody else, sorry, my eyes are getting a little red, I'm trying really hard to suppress the sneeze, is getting specific is really crucial in starting to narrow down what's working, what's not working. When I hear someone say, I've tried everything, and talking to God and meditation are great things to try, and I only see 2 things. And so I would want to know, have you really tried everything? Meaning, have you exhausted talking to every single person? Have you talked to counselors? Have you talked to coaches? Have you read the books? Have you watched the videos? Have you done yoga? Have you done Pilates? Have you done exercise? Have you run a marathon? Have you done the push-ups? Have you done the crunches? Have you done the planks? Have you done the healthy eating? Have you done there's literally going to be everything. Well, I shouldn't say everything because I just said don't say everything. There's literally going to be, you see how easy it is for us to do that. There's literally going to be so many different routes of possibility out there. And I'll be the first to say, I think some of them aren't that great. And I think some of them are really fantastic. We need to go through and we need to actually narrow down before we start to use the word like everything, because everything gives us this almost insurmountable thing. It's like the first question where everything makes it almost impossible. Because if we've really tried everything, we're kind of like that person in the middle of the ocean without a raft, without a paddle, sitting there floating. There's big waves all around us and the sharks are swimming, circling. It doesn't give us a lot of hope. And history has taught us time and time again that with hope, we can make it through it all. I don't know if any of you have ever read the book Unbroken. I would recommend reading the book way before the movie. I was not too impressed with the movie, but the book was fantastic. And there's a section of the book where the guy, the main character, Louis Zamperini, I'm screwing up his name. He's adrift at sea for something like 60 some days. And I think previously, prior to that, the longest anybody had ever been rescued after being adrift at sea was maybe a few weeks. And he survived. In a seemingly hopeless situation, he kept hope alive and he survived. And he endured a lot more and went on to, make it through his challenges in life. And I think he was I can't remember what year it was, but he was one of the torchbearers for the Olympics. Really remarkable story. And to get back to your point, Julia, it is this. I would get and really narrow down what hasn't worked and cross it off the list. And then I would look at changing my language around with the everythings and start to just focus on some specific things. And what I would look at doing is, what are the things in your life that do make some sort of positive difference when you do them? It doesn't say necessarily it's helping you to heal from the traumatic experience. What it is doing is it's giving you some positive resources that you can focus on every day. And that might be exercise, it might be healthy eating. One thing I always tell people is, if they want to shift their emotional state around, they don't like how they're feeling and they want to feel something different instantly, do some vigorous exercise. And by vigorous, I mean you're not, oh, this is hard. This is literally like you can't breathe, you're sweating profusely, you feel like you're going to pass out, that kind of exercise. Sprints, push-ups until you can't do anymore, your arms are shaking. Because in doing that, you're going to create some sort of physiological response within you that is going to force your emotions to shift around. Give that a try and see how it feels. And if you want to explore deeper, Julia, and get into the specifics of what it was, shoot me an email. We can talk about helping you, and I bet you'd be somebody who'd really benefit through a formal coaching program. I've had a lot of clients who have come through coaching with some sort of traumatic experience in the past, and they're able to move beyond it because we're able to work through specific strategies and each step of the trauma to help you release it and use it as something to really propel you forward into the next part of your life. So that offer is there for you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for the questions. Nicole and Julia, fantastic questions. I hope you all found value in this. And please leave a comment below. I love reading your thoughts. And as always, this Friday, 8 a.m., I'll put the post up and I'll be answering questions. So if you have a question for me, I'd love to answer it, help you out. Please leave it in the comments below when the post goes up on Friday. I look forward to sharing with you all your answers next week. And on that note, have an amazing week this week, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.